What is procrastination?
Okay, procrastination is a state of mind that human beings get into, typically when they're faced with something that they don't want to do. And I believe that actually at all times we're procrastinating something. So really it's a place that we are always, because no matter what it is that we're doing, there's something else that we're not doing. So for instance, if I'm writing my book, I'm not doing my laundry. If I'm doing my laundry, I'm not writing my thesis, whatever that is. And the key to procrastination is figuring out, prioritizing what's more important and what's less important in the moment.
Is it possible to cure procrastination? Do you think it's a problem?
I think that procrastination, again, it's a state of mind that people are in, and I think the problem is that people think it can be cured, but actually it can't be cured, because as I just mentioned, procrastination is going to occur all the time. The key is figuring out what you're doing, whether it's more important or less important, so that you stay focused on the things you care about the most.
What is the biggest problem for a procrastinator?
I think the biggest problem for a procrastinator is being able to figure out what the most important tasks are that are before them. So for instance, let's say that you're a busy mother or father and you come home from work and you are working on your master's degree. And you know you have a paper to write, but when you come home, the kids have homework and you've got your dishes to do and the laundry to do, and let's say that you put the kids to bed and now you're faced with two choices: work on your master's thesis or clean up the kitchen. So typically, especially if we don't really want to be working on the master's thesis because it's difficult or challenging, we would tend to gravitate towards tasks that seem important, like keeping your house clean, rather than working on that. And then when we're really exhausted at the end of the day and we only have 15 more minutes before we need to go to bed, we'll start working on the thesis. And my encouragement is to switch those. Forget about the dishes unless your mother-in-law is coming over in 15 minutes. Give the dishes a rest and focus instead what's important.
Is it a problem of the new world we're living in, or is it an old story?
I'm sure that procrastination is around as long as there have been tasks to do that aren't survival based. So I think in cave days you wouldn't procrastinate going to get food because you were hungry. And if there was a lion chasing you or a tiger or wherever you lived in the world, you wouldn't procrastinate running away from them because your survival is based on it. But we've developed our society and our civilization in such a way that we have leisure time that gives us the opportunity to actually do things that aren't only survival based. So as soon as we had the opportunity to live in our world where we weren't basing every task on survival, and then other tasks would come along, like doing dishes or doing laundry, or writing a report for work that you're not that interested in doing, or any number of other things like that. So I don't think it's a new world problem, but I do think that it is exacerbated in this world because there are so many more things to distract us.
And then what about Twitter and Facebook and other social media? Are they close friends of procrastination, and are they our enemies?
I would say that Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and all of the media, social media that people use all day long, every day, the World Wide Web, again, I think it's a distraction technique. I don't think there's anything wrong with posting on Facebook or spending time doing those relaxation if it's a way for you to stay connected. But I do think that I know when I go onto Facebook to do something, like maybe I want to email my friend, I'm 15 minutes, excuse me, I'm 15 minutes before I can email her because I've just spent 15 minutes looking at everybody's statuses. And even though before I get on to Facebook, I insist to myself, okay, I'm going to just go and email my friend, it's very easy. And that's what they want. They want us to get distracted by what's on there. So it's very engaging.
Can you describe a day of a procrastinator?
I think what's interesting about that is that I think there are all kinds of people in the world, but a lot of us are very productive people. And there are actually productive procrastinators. So some people are so busy doing things like volunteering for their school, or maybe they have a very high-level job, or they have let's start this one over. So in terms of the life of the procrastinator, I'll just keep going. So in terms of the life of a procrastinator, what I would say is that the majority of our society is relatively productive. And I think those procrastination moments, if you're a productive procrastinator, you're probably doing things like doing the dishes, paying your bills, getting your laundry done, keeping your house clean, calling your parents, taking care of your children's homework. There's a lot of things that you can be doing and be productive. However, it's not necessarily furthering what you say you want to do in your life.
Why do you think people say that they work better under pressure?
So one of the types of procrastination are thrill seekers, and thrill seekers work better under procrastination. What was the question? Work better under pressure. So thrill seekers work better under pressure because that's actually what they want. They want to experience that just came under the wire experience, walking in with their paper, running to the meeting, whatever it is, last minute to hand in their report. There's a certain, when we think about these thrill seekers, they don't experience better productivity, but their life is more exciting. And they don't realize how productive they might be if they weren't procrastinating. And we imagine, because there's so much pressure on us, that we work better under pressure, but we don't know if we would be productive 2 weeks ago if we had started it and had plenty of time to do it.
Is it a lie that most people say they're creative around morning or around midnight?
I don't think I would say that it's a lie that people are creative at different times. I think that you have to find the time that you work best. And again, I think that sometimes there are external experiences which that external motivation will start the flow, but it's not so much that you're more creative as it is that you're just getting down to doing the job.
Which words can help us avoid procrastination?
So what I always like to say is that procrastinators think that they are lazy, or that they are undisciplined, not motivated, that there are ways we describe ourselves because we procrastinate. And when we procrastinate, or if we are procrastinating, we say, yeah, I'm just feeling lazy, or gosh, I wish I were more disciplined, then I could go to the gym more frequently. But actually, what I have learned is that when you're procrastinating, you are typically avoiding something. There's really 3 different scenarios. You're either avoiding something, you're a thrill seeker, as I just discussed, or you are probably a perfectionist. You might be a perfectionist, and you avoid doing something because you think you can't do it perfectly. So I stay away from words like lazy and undisciplined, because that's about me. And what I like to say instead is that I have a lot of things to do right now, and I'm going to prioritize them, or I feel very stimulated because of the amount of work I have to do. Let me take some time to focus on what's important and think about, what am I avoiding? If I'm avoiding something, what would that be? And that takes the beat up mode off of me, so there's nothing wrong with me. I just need to focus on the task and figure out what's in between me and getting it done.
And why do people show resistance?
I think people show resistance, again, because if a task is distasteful, nobody really likes to do their taxes. Even if you have a big refund coming, I think typically people just don't like the process of doing things that are unpleasant. And it takes a different part of your emotional skill set to focus on getting something done that you don't really want to do versus something that you do want to do. And we think we should just be able to do it, and then there's something wrong with us if we don't. But that's not actually so, in my opinion.
And finally, don't we have a just do it button?
We do not just have a just do it button. Despite what Nike has said and led us to believe for many years, as I said a moment ago, I think that we have to figure out what's in between us and doing the task. What are you avoiding? Are you feeling like you're going to fail? Are you feeling like it's just too hard, you're not capable, you can't do a perfect job? So all of those things will need to get handled before you can just do it.
All right.